film opens with Mitch Rapp, a cheerful young man enjoying a vacation in Spain with his girlfriend, Katrina Harper. On the beach, Katrina cools off in the clear water while Mitch prepares a special surprise. Filled with excitement, he takes out a ring and proposes, expressing his deep love for her. Overjoyed by the proposal, Katrina accepts, and they share a tender kiss, celebrating a bright future together. Mitch heads to the bar to get drinks, but their peaceful moment is shattered. Gunfire erupts as terrorists launch a brutal attack. In a desperate attempt to reach Katrina, Mitch is shot in the leg, but continues to call out her name. Tragedy strikes as Mitch watches Katrina get shot and killed right before his eyes. 18 months later, he is a completely changed man, consumed by rage and a thirst for revenge. Mitch hunts the terrorists, disguising himself as a jihadist on messaging platforms, hoping to track down the one responsible for Katrina's death. Mitch's uncontrollable rage affects his martial arts training, getting him expelled from several gyms for hitting partners too hard. At the shooting range, he stands out by choosing full auto mode, unaware that the CIA is closely monitoring his every move. On a fateful night, Mitch receives the long-awaited invitation to join the terrorist group, immediately catching the attention of CIA Deputy Director Irene Kennedy. He travels to Libya and follows masked men to their secret base. When one of them removes his sunglasses, Mitch discreetly hides a blade inside his own. After a thorough search, Mitch is blindfolded and led inside. At the compound, he comes face to face with Al-Mansour, the terrorist leader who killed Katrina. While they talk, Mitch quietly looks for a way to escape. Just as he prepares to strike, Al-Mansour is suddenly shot, and a special forces team storms in, eliminating the terrorists. In a rage over Al-Mansour's death, Mitch repeatedly stabs him until restrained by soldiers. After the chaotic encounter, he is captured by the CIA and subjected to a 30-day interrogation, delving into his tragic past, including the death of his parents. During this critical period, Deputy Director Kennedy closely monitors Mitch and enters the interrogation room on the final day. She reflects on his boldness in taking down Al-Mansour alone and dismantling his entire terrorist network. Meanwhile, Mitch, consumed by regret, realizes they will never truly know what might have happened. Despite pressure from other officials to imprison Mitch, Kennedy sees his potential and offers him a place in the CIA. Mitch firmly refuses, determined to avenge Katrina in his own way. Recognizing his intense resolve, Kennedy gives him a choice: prison or working with her. She then meets with Director Stanfield to discuss Mitch. However, Stanfield worries that Mitch's impulsive nature and uncooperative attitude could endanger the Black Ops team and raises concerns about his psychological profile. Kennedy believes Mitch has the qualities she expects in an agent, prompting Stanfield to wish her luck in persuading Hurley. When a report of missing plutonium from a decommissioned Russian nuclear facility surfaced, Stanfield put Kennedy on hold. She took Mitch to the Orion training facility and used the opportunity to inform him about Hurley, a former SEAL who had served with her father. At a secluded cabin deep in the forest, Hurley greeted Kennedy with skepticism about including Mitch in the team. Kennedy defended him, stressing that he lacked the bad habits of a rookie and had a civilian demeanor, the exact qualities they needed. After she left, Hurley confronted Mitch, questioning his presence there. Unfazed, Mitch challenges Hurley to test his combat skills. Hurley, masking his curiosity, sends an agent to escort Mitch to his room. The next day, during training, Hurley demonstrates his skills before pairing Mitch with rookie Victor. What starts as a sparring match quickly escalates into a full-scale fight. Hurley uses the moment to remind the rookies that if they are caught, they will become ghosts, and death is their only option. Meanwhile, at the Iranian embassy in London, Kennedy and Stanfield discuss intelligence indicating the stolen plutonium is en route to Iran. Officials denied any information about the smuggled material, while Defense Secretary Barr insisted that Iran would not violate the nuclear agreement with the U.S. The meeting ended without a clear solution, leaving both sides uncertain. Stanfield's suspicion of the Iranian officials prompted him to order Kennedy to have the Orion team ready for action. Meanwhile, Mitch and the other rookies undergo a harsh, virtual combat simulation designed to test their focus and determination. In this dangerous environment, they must memorize the target's face, knowing that failing to eliminate the target or harming an innocent person will result in painful electric shocks. Kennedy watched in suspense as the simulation began. Hurley set Al-Mansour as the target, and Mitch instinctively fired but was met with an electric shock. The intensity increased as the rookies fell one by one from the field. Despite Hurley's relentless taunts, Mitch remained steadfast, enduring the shocks and continuing to fire even as he collapsed to his knees. Meanwhile, in Poland, a tense deal unfolds on a truck carrying stolen plutonium. As the exchange nears completion, law enforcement intervenes, raising suspicion. Chaos erupts when the buyer suddenly opens fire, killing both the police and the seller before disappearing into the mayhem. Back at Orion, Hurley learns about the shooting, growing increasingly concerned. When the simulation ends, only Mitch and Victor remain among the rookies. They are sent into a simulated store where they must identify and eliminate the designated target. Victor spots the target first. As Mitch observes, he assists in eliminating the target and unexpectedly takes down a dangerous woman. Kennedy calls Hurley to brief her on the stolen plutonium case. He shows a still image of the shooter, seeking her insight. Kennedy is shocked to realize that the man, believed dead years earlier in a drone strike, was actually an agent known as Ghost. Armed with intelligence that Turkish arms dealer Hamdi Sharif is selling a nuclear trigger device, Kennedy is determined to seize the chance to neutralize both threats. She deploys the Orion team to Istanbul and requests Mitch's participation. To prepare, Hurley calls Mitch to his office, where he reviews footage Mitch recorded in Spain. Angry, Mitch demands Hurley turn off the video, but Hurley remains unfazed. In a tense moment, Mitch confronts him and nearly gets choked. Hurley sternly warns him not to let emotions cloud his judgment. The team Mitch, Victor, and Hurley arrives in Turkey, where they meet CIA agent Anaka. Hurley briefs Sharif's activities and assigns Mitch to guard alongside Anaka, preparing for the upcoming critical mission. Mitch and Anaka discreetly observe Sharif talking with his assistant. In a moment of impulsiveness, Mitch strays from the plan, bumps into the assistant, and accidentally knocks over a phone. Although Mitch's bold move yielded valuable information, Hurley reprimands him for straying from the plan. Agents quickly decrypt the phone, uncovering details of Sharif's lunch meeting scheduled for the next day. Hurley assigns Victor as the lead agent, with Mitch supporting alongside Anaka. The following day, Anaka and Mitch take strategic positions across from the restaurant where Sharif is expected. When Sharif arrives, guarded by armed soldiers, Hurley devises a plan to neutralize the threat. He sneaks up on a lone soldier, drags him into an alley, and threatens him with a knife, forcing him to call in a report about a bombing elsewhere in the city. The other soldiers panic and flee, while Hurley subdues the unconscious soldier. After clearing the path, Mitch and Victor approach the restaurant. Inside, Cherie hands the car keys to the buyer, who recognizes Victor and shoots him dead before aiming at Mitch and the panicked patrons. Mitch quickly alerts Hurley to the chaos. Victor is dead and Cherie has escaped. Although Hurley was ready to give up, Mitch spots Cherie fleeing and orders his assistant to follow. They track Sharif to an apartment complex, where Mitch breaks in but is chased by a pack of aggressive dogs. In a clever escape, he locks himself in a car, trapping the dogs inside. Once inside Sharif's apartment, Mitch is discovered and must flee from the bodyguards. After a tense confrontation, Mitch emerges victorious in a brutal shootout. Without hesitation, he storms into Sharif's room, takes him down, and seizes his laptop. Back at the base, Hurley lashes out at Mitch for disobeying orders. At that moment, Kennedy arrives and sees a news report about Mitch's actions. She firmly defends him, asserting that he is still part of the team. They watch Ghost escape in a vehicle, leaving Hurley regretting training Mitch and vowing to take down Ghost. With a nuclear trigger in hand, they realize they need a physicist to advance their plan. Searching Sharif's laptop, they discover a $2 million transfer to Rome. Meanwhile, in Rome, Minister Buru arrives at a secure facility, meets Ghost, and reveals their partnership and plan to recruit the physicist. Anaka, Hurley, and Mitch arrive in Rome. As Mitch searches for answers about who caused Victor's death, Hurley dismisses the person as just another villain in their line of work. Anaka steps out of the bank and returns to the team, revealing they will be alerted as soon as the physicist receives the payment. Shortly after, they locate the physicist and track his car to the hotel. Mitch and Anaka secure the adjacent room and install a surveillance camera in his room. As Mitch intently monitors the feed, Anaka approaches to discuss his feelings. Anaka's sudden distraction causes Mitch to miss the moment when several men enter the physicist's room and discover the surveillance. In the ensuing chaos, Mitch takes down one intruder, but Anaka is captured. Outside, Hurley waits in the car, growing anxious when he hears nothing from Mitch and decides to investigate. Inside the hotel, Mitch and Anaka are held at gunpoint. Ghost demands Hurley's whereabouts, but Hurley bursts in, firing to turn the tables. Ghost narrowly escapes, while Mitch and Anaka take down the remaining attackers. Hurley corners the physicist as he tries to flee. They take the physicist to a secluded location. Mitch questions his identity, but Hurley ignores him and pressures Mitch for the bomb's location, ordering him to clean up and regroup. Later, Mitch and Anaka book a hotel room. While tending to his wounds, Anaka encourages Mitch to rest and assures him they will pursue Ghost the next day. As she prepares a bath, Mitch questions her knowledge of Ghost and suspects she may be an Iranian agent. Despite her insistence that she is a CIA operative and reminding Mitch he mentioned it earlier, he remains suspicious and attacks her. Mitch submerges Anaka in water, demanding the truth, but she firmly refuses. Unexpectedly, Anaka is interrogated and found to have ties to Iranian intelligence. Hurley decides to confront her handler, Ashani, who is both Anaka's uncle and an old acquaintance of his. Ashani reveals that Minister Buru and General Rostami hired Ghost to acquire nuclear material and share critical intelligence. Ghost seeks an Iranian physicist to replace the one in custody. During the meeting, Ashani is killed and Hurley is shot in the leg. Kennedy arrives at the safe house only to learn that Ashani has been killed. Mitch informs Kennedy that Hurley was supposed to meet Ashani and expresses his desire to pursue him. Kennedy firmly refuses, insisting Mitch return. When CIA agents escort Anaka away, Mitch grabs her phone and gives chase. He stops the car, incapacitates the driver, and urgently tells Anaka that her handler has been killed and Hurley captured. Hurley finds himself trapped in a secret nuclear lab, his arm pinned in a vise. Ghost confronts him, pointing to the scars and pain he endured after being abandoned by Hurley, expressing a bitter longing for Hurley's return. Hurley remains firm, reminding Ghost that his reckless actions endangered the lives of 10 agents. In a rage, Ghost ties Hurley's hands above his head. Mitch and Anaka learn that she has traced Baru's phone, which could lead them to Hurley. In desperation, Mitch hijacks a car and speeds toward Baru's hideout. Meanwhile, Ghost tortures Hurley, demanding he reveal the location of his team. When Hurley remains silent, Ghost retaliates by ripping off a fingernail. Climbing onto his back, Ghost questions him about the new agent, but Hurley insists Mitch is superior. Enraged, Ghost rips off another nail and escalates the torture with electric shocks. In a fit of fury, Ghost slashes Hurley's chest deeply and sears it with a blowtorch, expressing regret for ever trusting Hurley and the U.S. Navy. In a desperate moment, Hurley decides to reveal Mitch's location. As Ghost approaches, Hurley bites off a piece of his ear in a final act of defiance. Buzz is alerted that the bomb has been activated, but Ghost brutally kills everyone present. Hurley urges Ghost to finish him off, yet Ghost has other plans. Ghost wants Hurley alive to witness the catastrophic consequences of his actions. Mitch and Anaka stealthily enter, weapons ready. They reach a locked gate that only Anaka can open. Mitch hands her his gun and urges her to go first. As 3 armed men approach the end of the tunnel, Mitch skillfully climbs onto the ceiling to remain unseen. Anaka enters the lab and finds Buru dying, pleading for her help. Enraged at the man who orchestrated her uncle's death, she shoots Buru, causing panic among those nearby. Sensing the danger, Mitch rushes to the car, drives into the tunnel, takes down 3 gunmen, and crashes through the gate. The crash triggers an explosion, setting off alarms and forcing Kennedy and her team to mobilize. When Mitch finally reaches Hurley, he learns that Ghost has activated the nuclear device's countdown and urges Hurley to pursue him immediately. As Mitch embarks on this dangerous mission, he unexpectedly sees Ghost pointing a gun at Anaka's head, marking the start of a tense confrontation. In a heartbreaking moment, Anaka confides in Mitch about her desire to see her family before she uses Ghost's gun to attempt suicide. Grief-stricken but determined, Mitch continues the chase, taking down another gangster along the way. Ghost boards a boat, but Mitch jumps on in time, plunging into a fierce battle with his enemy amid the raging waves. Ghost taunts Mitch about his girlfriend's death, making their battle even more brutal. Meanwhile, Hurley is rescued by helicopter and quickly contacts Kennedy. Together, they deduce that Ghost is planning an attack on the 6th Fleet. The fleet is warned in time and prepares for the looming nuclear threat. During the fight, Ghost taunts Mitch for failing to save Katrina, escalating the tension between them. As Ghost lunges to stab him, Mitch grabs the blade and, driven by rage and despair, kills Ghost. Hurley and Kennedy plan to disable the boat, only to discover that Mitch has taken control of it. Determined not to abandon his friend, Hurley flies the helicopter to Mitch's location and urgently contacts him, instructing him to drop the bomb into the sea as the Navy prepares to fire. In a tense moment, Mitch drops the bomb just as the helicopter swoops in to rescue him, narrowly escaping an explosion that creates a massive crater. A massive mushroom cloud rises, sending shockwaves across the fleet, causing Hurley's helicopter to falter. The pilot regains control just in time. Mitch struggles with guilt, believing Hurley should have left him behind. But Hurley firmly reminds him not to get used to being abandoned. Weeks later, Mitch is seen in Dubai while Kennedy visits Hurley, who is recovering. They watch the news about General Rostami, who blames the CIA for the nuclear disaster and positions himself as a candidate for Iran's presidency. Mitch's mysterious absence reveals a chilling truth. He may be carrying out a mission to finish what he started. As Rostami and his associates step into the elevator, they are unaware that Mitch is already waiting, ready to confront them.